Oh, what an adventure! Get lost with Google Maps. Well, g'day everyone. It's a kind of bitter time right now for me. We're all set to go away today, and 3 days ago I had a little rash on my head, and I noticed some blistering in it. So I went down the road to the chemist, because he's just at the end of my street, and he said, Chris, he had a look and he said, Chris, you've got, I think, he didn't say you've got, he said, I think you've got shingles. And I thought, oh God. And for those of you that don't know, shingles, if you've ever had chicken pox, and when you get old, if you get stressed or something like that, it can bring shingles on. And a week before the shingles come on, Ziggy got very sick, and I was extremely worried about her. She's fine, turned out to be nothing, but then I started to get itchy in my head. Anyway, long story short, I went from the chemist to a doctor. The doctor confirmed it was shingles. He reported it because it's a reportable disease. That got me 6 days quarantine. So I'm at home, I'm allowed no visitors. Let me unlock this. And at the end of 6 days, I've got to go see an optometrist because it's on the left side of my face and through my hair, and it's extremely painful, people. Look, I'd rather be kicked between the legs just once than have this pain. But life is what it is. So we've booked in to see an optometrist because shingles attacks your nerves, and it can leave you blind. It attacks your optic nerves where it is on my body, on my head. And then in 2 weeks after that, I have to go back, get re-examined. I'm on an immense amount of antivirals, 3,000 milligrams a day, with steroids in the morning, for the next 6 days. After that, I move on to nerve blockers, and yeah, hopefully after a month it's all going to be finished and done with. But what I wanted to show you was to look in my toolbox. Now this is what I typically take camping. I take a full toolbox. I've got a hammer drill, a big one for loosening wheel nuts, not tightening them. I've got all the impact drivers, I've got everything in there I need for that. Take spare fuel filter, spare oil filter, spare fan belts. In here, let me separate this camera leg so it can stand for a second. And I'll undo this. Where's the zip? Here it is. In here I take my DC meter. It's a good inexpensive one. It goes up to 600 amps DC. That's excellent for measuring large solar arrays. It's got temperature measurements and all that in it. I take a rubber and plastic hammer. Down here I've got more spare parts, Mahindra parts. I've got some WD-40 dry, WD-40 with dry PTFE for lubricating zippers on the tent, lubricating the tow hitch on the car trailer because it's not an oil, it's dry. It's very good stuff. And I've got some tapes. I got just some basic string for the tent. I got some tent repair material. Okay, sealing tape. I got, now because I use tent screws, I've got a selection of these that fit into my little Makita hammer drill, drill. And these ones here, these star ones there, fit the screws for the tent. I've got more fittings in here. There we go. And down here I've got a complete drill kit which fit this hammer drill. They just plonk straight in there. I've got spare rings for some of the tarps I use. There's a punch, there's everything I need in there to put them in. I carry Anderson plugs, like I said back there's fan belts, all sorts of stuff. And here's a battery charger for me Makita batteries. In here there's a spare rooftop tent strut and a full control box pre-wired, so if anything goes wrong with the rooftop tent, it's not coming up. Either it's a control box or one of the I forget what they call these, lifting struts, electric lifting struts. I can fix that while I'm on the road. In here I've got some spare tie downs and ropes. In here I've got Crescent premium cable ties. Okay, in here I have tyre deflation. Of course in the trailer I've got the pump and everything. Let me put the camera down again. Open up. There we go. Tyre deflation. Alright. And yep, I'm letting my tyres up and down all the time on this, on sandy tracks, because it is only a two-wheel drive. And the tyres snuggle my rims very well. So I can go down to 12 psi with this one. And in here I've got a full tyre repair kit, a good one. Okay, down there I have a set of met wrench, and in here I've got a set of AF and metric sockets. And with that I can just about repair anything that happens to us on the road or while we're camping. Let me put this back in here. You come across here. And the rope goes in there. And under the seat of the car I've got a small emergency kit which has got an EPIRB in it, fire starting gear, magnifying glass, little handheld radio, shortwave radio, and also a big jump starting kit, one of those high powered lithium starting kits that'll start sort of anything up to 8 meters I think, which is a pretty big engine. So we actually had everything all packed up and we're ready to go. All we had to do was put the there's a toilet sitting there, that black thing by the way. All we had to do Let me get this done up. Let me push this lock in. All we had to do was put the food in the fridge and freezer. We got the fuel and water on there. Currently I've got this cable running from the batteries in this box here, which also go down into the winch battery and then the starter battery, and it comes out of the camper trailer. Because I've got a 17 amp battery charger. There's a cord going into it there. Currently charging the lithium batteries. So that's my toolkit. I've also got we call them a roo jack, but they're known as farmer's jacks. Here, we're getting out of bog holes. Of course, you all know I've got a winch, an air compressor, and snatch straps and extension winch straps, and because it is only a 2-wheel drive. It's a Mahindra with an automatic diff lock, and I mean there are some places I wouldn't take it, but most of this, you got to remember, most of this country was opened up by 1-wheel drive cars. And with the Mahindra, and I let all the tyres down, and I'm steady on the accelerator. Like a few years ago now, there wasn't such thing as a V8 off-road vehicle, because the thing with loose sand and that, you don't want power, you don't want your wheels spinning. And I've seen that many videos where they're snatching people out of cars with big rooster tails behind their cars. You don't need that. You just need to use your vehicle's force. I actually don't snatch vehicles with this car because it's only a 2-wheel drive. I just drive past them and say sorry, I'm 2-wheel drive. I believe the reason a lot of them get bogged is purely because they don't know how to drive on sand, whereas I've driven on it most of my life, up in the station country, around the Exmouth Gulf, Sangoo, the Henry stations, that country up there. I don't think those stations exist anymore. I think they're all national parks or reserves now. But I've spent a lot of years just driving on sand in 2-wheel drive vehicles, doing windmill runs and mustering sheep and cattle in the stations. I think the others Ballina, I don't know. I worked a whole heap of stations up there before and after I met the missus. But yeah, look people, if you're driving in sand, you see a lot of cars and they blow their motors going uphill in these damn Toyotas. They just blow their motors because, you know, they're revving their motor. They think they need high revs, really high revs. And you see them doing 5,000-6,000 RPM, revving the guts out of these vehicles going uphill, and wonder why they go bang. I've had this vehicle since 2015 now, I believe. It's done just over 50,000 kilometres, and all of that is 40,000 kilometres of that is in the dirt and sand. Yeah. Anyway, so that's me bad news. All I can sit here and just dream about when I go bush again. Hopefully it's next month. It's after April now. After I see the doctor again in 2 weeks, then school holiday starts. We don't go anywhere during school holidays usually. We were planning to be out in the bush and already camping before then. So we've just got to wait till after school holidays before we can go again. And then they decided to have a national voting, so we got to hang around and put in a postal vote for that before we head off as well, because they fine you in Australia if you don't vote, believe it or not. It's compulsory. Anyway, you can see I'm a bit down because I can't go camping, but I'm trying to keep it happy. So on a happy note, keep safe everyone, keep well, and if you can, yeah, go camping, go camping. Cheerio.